Welcome back. This is part 3 of the Ultimate USA Trucking Guide. Today we will be talking about CN, which is the abbreviation for Conestoga. You guys demanded 4 timestamps on my videos, so that has been implemented. Please check on the first comment. I've pinned it in the top comment, also in the video description. I have also put short and reels related to this video in the description section. I have done this for every video that I have made so far, so please watch those too. I have also provided raw documents for complete information about this presentation, but please remember to use the document as a reference guide. You don't have to read the whole thing. So let's not waste too much time on this slide and go to the second slide. Oh, I forgot. A lot of people have been asking me to be a bit more specific on the advantages and disadvantages of each equipment type. As the previous 2 videos had pretty much the same pros and cons, so I will be updating that, but in the next video, since I have already uploaded this one. I have added some animation and B-roll videos for samples and to make the presentation more lively and less boring. So I hope you guys appreciate that. A lot of blood, sweat and tears went into these presentations, into these videos. So let's move on to the second slide. We also won't be wasting too much time on this slide, as you guys have seen this table multiple times before in my previous videos. As you can see, the abbreviation CN is highlighted this time around, which stands for Conestoga. This means that this video will be all about Conestogas. Mind you, there will be some videos in the future that will have multiple truck types being explained in one complete presentation and video, so be on the lookout for that. Okay, let's move on to the third slide. What is a Conestoga? So nothing too fancy here. A Conestoga is literally a trailer with a slidable top system in place. There are many variants, but we will be talking about the 4 most commonly used in USA. It can come in a flatbed setup, in a step deck, and a double drop trailer integration. Some can even come in a extendable format. Some common Conestoga manufacturers are Mack Trailers, Benson International, Top Stop, Transcraft, Mountain Tarp, and Hannibal Industries. There are other companies, but I can't name all of them here, otherwise this slide would be very long. I will be explaining the most common types of Conestogas and not their specialist counterparts. Specialist counterparts, I'm talking about maybe double trailer Conestogas or reefer Conestogas. We won't be talking about that. That's a bit specific and hardly anyone uses that in the US. Some topics we will be talking about in great lengths are the tools, equipment, and the common maintenance practices. Another one would be regulations and permits. Now, mind you, I'm mentioning these in this slide, but we will talk in great detail in the upcoming slides. I think we have pretty much covered this slide. There's not much to talk about over here. You can pause the video right now and have a look at this slide for your information. If you want to ask me anything, ask away in the comment section. That's about it. Let's move on to the 4th slide. Here we will be briefly explaining each and every Conestoga type as accurately as possible, not cluttering too much of this slide. We'll explain to you guys that there are, well, in fact, I've actually explained in the previous slide that there are different types of Conestogas, but these are the 4 most commonly used. This is pretty much in the same format as the last 2 videos that I had made. I don't plan on changing it. Simplicity is the answer here. Here we have the 4 most common Conestoga types. They are more specialized units, but I have found that these 4 are the most commonly used in the States. In fact, 3 out of these 4 are the most commonly used. That's the standard Conestoga, the double drop Conestoga, and the step deck Conestoga. Extendable Conestoga is very rare. The extendable Conestoga is rare. It also has various restrictions in place for interstate traveling. I think that's the reason why not many people use an extendable format. Okay, I hope everyone got that. I'm only describing how they look like. I've got the images here. These images is just to help you figure out exactly how these specific Conestoga types look like. And let's move on to the fifth slide, shall we? As you know, we always have a slide that talks about specifications and dimensions. Pretty much self-explanatory. Just pause the video right here and check the details for each variant. I don't have to talk on this slide. You can just pause the video and just scan through it, read it thoroughly. This information is written in detail. Any other related information is in the raw document in the description section of this video. Once you have read all of that, let's move on to the sixth slide. Oh, I forgot. And also, I do apologize about the font and box sizes. I had so much information to cram in each box, so I really had no choice. Okay, on to the next slide. Okay, Conestoga tools and equipment. Usually I would have the maintenance section here as well, but it was too lengthy, so I divided it into 2 slides. Okay, so basic hand toolkit. The basic toolkit is needed to handle various situations on the road. These include different types of wrenches, adjustable box end and open end for tightening or loosening bolts and nuts of various sizes. Screwdrivers, obviously, both flathead and Phillips are crucial for dealing with a variety of different screws. Pliers such as standard needle nose and locking pliers are necessary for ripping, bending, and cutting wires or small parts. A ratchet and socket set offers versatility for more complex mechanical tasks. A hammer is a no-brainer. It's a must-have for driving nails or breaking loose, stuck parts. A utility knife is very handy for cutting ropes, straps, or tops. I believe anyone who's got a top system should have a utility knife. A tape measure is also, I believe it to be essential for accurately measuring cargo dimensions and clearances, helping to ensure the load is properly balanced and meets regulatory requirements. Having all these tools on hand can save time and prevent minor issues from becoming major problems. So this ensures for a much more smoother and safer journey. Okay, so we've made that point clear. Okay, so the second point, cargo securing equipment. Proper cargo securing is definitely needed to ensure the safety and stability of the load. There are heavy-duty straps and ratchets which are very important for tightly securing various types of cargo. I will explain the various types of cargo later on. Preventing, obviously, any shifting during transit, that's what the tops are for. There are some heavy and rigid cargo which sometimes require chains and binders for strength and security. Then there's the corner protectors, which is not much talked about, which is vital for shielding the cargo and the straps from damage. Due to the tight binding, they don't move, and the pallets don't get damaged either. Edge protectors will prevent wear and tear on the topping system. This is when it comes to dealing with fragile, sharp, or abrasive cargo edges. Additionally, there are some extra tarps and covers on hand which offer additional protection against the elements, ensuring that the cargo remains dry and secure. You see, that's what tarping does. It makes the cargo dry and secure from all these weather conditions. By using these specific securement procedures, a trucker can effectively safeguard their load, minimizing the risk of accidents and damage while on the road. I hope everyone got that. Let's move on to the third point. Tarp system accessories. I'll be very brief. A tarp repair kit can come in handy, but is not an essential item, in my book anyways. It usually includes patching materials, adhesive, and tools to address any damage to the tarp while on the road. Bungee cords are good for securing tarps or other items. It does provide flexibility and ease of use, but it's not needed. A tarp maintenance spray is good for keeping the top material pliable and preventing cracking. For me, I think that's a must. Okay, for me, extending the life of the top and ensuring it remains effective in protecting the cargo. What else? Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That pretty much sums up this point. On to the next point. So everything here in safety equipment is essential. I don't think that there's anything here that you don't need. You need everything here. Having essential personal protective equipment, which is the abbreviation for PPE, that includes gloves, hard hats, safety glasses, steel-toed boots, high visibility vests, protection gear, lanyards, you name it, you need it. All of this ensures that a trucker is safe from any falls, from any damage. It's all for his safety, basically. A fire extinguisher usually comes with the tractor, so I don't think you have to be too worried about that. If it doesn't, then please resupply or buy it. A first aid kit is a must-have to treat minor injuries. I believe that's common sense. Additionally, reflective triangles and flares are vital for roadside emergencies, especially in the winter times. Making the truck and the surrounding area visible. This is the key word right here. You have to be visible to other drivers, which ultimately enhances the safety during unexpected stops. I hope everyone got that. This is a simple yet very effective point to note down. Okay, on to the next point. So, communication and navigation tools. This point I can't stress enough. Communication and navigation is so important in this line of work that without it you can't even pick or drop any loads. A two-way communication is essential for maintaining good relationship with the dispatcher and the broker, especially with the broker, because the brokers can be a nuisance really. Providing real-time updates and coordination lets everyone know that you're doing your job accordingly. A GPS device is crucial for accurate navigation and route planning, which obviously helps to avoid delays and finds the best routes. Additionally, a smartphone is indispensable for various tasks, including communication, accessing load details, and reaching emergency services. By having these tools at hand, a trucker can stay connected. Ultimately, it can be navigated efficiently and handle any situation that arises on the road. I hope everyone got that. Last but not least, vehicle maintenance tools. So I'm touching on the vehicle maintenance tools, but I'm going to get on the main part of maintenance in the next slide. So let's quickly finish up on this last point and move on. A tire pressure gauge is very helpful to check the tire inflation levels, helping to maintain optimal tire performance and fuel efficiency. A portable air compressor is not a necessity from my perspective, but it is helpful to have around. A jack and lug wrench, this is something that I would personally always have with me in case for tire changes. Additionally, carrying spare fuses and bulbs ensures that electrical repairs can be made promptly, because if it isn't, then obviously the DOT inspectors are going to be at you. Maintaining proper lighting and obviously, functionality of the truck is needed for the lights and visibility. Once again, I did say that the DOT inspectors can possibly fine you on this, so be aware of that. They're very alert in this year. Lubricants are needed to maintain the smooth operation of hinges and top systems and other moving parts, preventing wear and tear. Having these simple tools at hand, all truckers can enhance their security and can obviously address common maintenance needs effectively, ensuring safety and minimizing downtime. So I hope everyone got that. So let's move on to the 7th slide. Conestoga maintenance, trailer inspection. Regular inspection and checking the trailer's structure involves inspecting the frame, bed, and support structures for any signs of cracks, rust, or other damage. The brake system should be checked regularly for wear and proper functioning to ensure safe stopping power. Okay, just remember that. All lights, signals, electrical systems must be operational, obviously. If not, remove them, change them. Please do routine checks to prevent visibility and communication issues on the road. Tire maintenance is crucial. Regular check of tire pressure and tread depth with timely replacements as needed to ensure optimal performance and safety. Additionally, you will also have to inspect the suspension components for wear or damage. So yeah, that's pretty much summed up this point. Let's move on to the next one. Load inspection and weight distribution. Okay. So We have already talked about this in the previous slide. Additionally, checking the weight distribution of the load is crucial to prevent issues with trailer stability or handling. So what I mean is ensuring an even distribution in the trailer. This helps to maintain balance and control, reducing the risk of accidents and by increasing overall road safety. If you do not pay attention to weight distribution, you can have some crazy accidents, man, especially in a very sharp turn. I've seen many trailers actually take a turn and basically the whole trailer has flipped on its side. So take note on that. Engine and drivetrain servicing, fluid vehicles and cleaning. Okay, I think it's pretty much explains it itself. Drivetrain components, you need to check that or regularly. Fluid levels, oil coolant, brake fluid, and other essential fluids. That's to be checked regularly. If you do that, it prevents mechanical issues on the trip ahead. Another thing to keep in mind is that keeping the trailer clean. There are many brokers, now hear me out, there are many brokers who will not give you the load until you clean your trailer. In fact, they'll pay you for the cleaning of the trailer. So just keep that in mind, okay? Some loads require trailer cleaning, especially if it's like commodities such as food products, fresh food products, okay? They will require you to clean the trailer, okay? On to the next point. Okay, excellent record keeping to ensure compliance and efficiency. Maintaining detailed inspection logs is crucial for documenting regular maintenance activities and obviously identifying any potential issues with the vehicle and tire picking system. Having all the necessary permits, licenses, and registrations up to date. This includes staying informed about state-specific requirements and ensuring that all documentation is readily available to avoid penalties during inspection. I will explain more about state-specific requirements in the upcoming slides. Furthermore, accurate load documentation is vital for managing cargo details, routes, and delivery information. This includes checking your bill of lading and rate confirmation. Bill of lading and rate confirmation. I will explain these terminologies maybe sometime in the future. So this is to see if the information matches with each other, as well as documenting the pickup and delivery locations and timings. These are the verifiable information that every trucker needs to have accountability for. Okay, I hope everyone got that. Last point. This is optional, but is very favorable, especially from the DOT inspector's point of view. So if you have any extra certification that can most likely lower the costs of insurance and premiums, then please apply for it. Okay? It will help you in the long run. Being prepared for emergencies is a critical aspect of a trucker's responsibilities. Drivers should be equipped with the tools and knowledge to manage unexpected situations. Okay, we're talking about vehicle breakdowns, accidents, severe weather conditions, etc. This preparedness includes carrying emergency equipment, understanding basic first aid, and having a clear action plan for contacting support services. So doing all of these protocols is ultimately protecting both the driver and the cargo. Let's move on to the 8th slide, shall we? General federal permits and regulations. I have split this information into two different slides, one for general federal permits and one for state-specific permits and regulations. This slide will be about the general federal perspective. So, vehicle dimensions and weight limits. While the federal standard permits a maximum trailer length of 53 feet, there are other states which have additional restrictions, but we will talk more about that in the next slide. Similarly, the federal maximum width for trailers is set on 102 inches, which is roughly 8.5 feet. And the federal regulation allows a maximum height of 13 feet and 6 inches. Please remember these figures, okay? Certain states with unique infrastructure, such as lower bridges, they may have different height restrictions. But the federal gross vehicle weight limit is capped at 80,000 pounds. Gross vehicle weight. That stands for GVW as the abbreviation. Although truckers must verify any additional state-specific weight regulations. Let's move on to the second point. Necessary permits are needed and an understanding of state-specific requirements to legally transport oversized or overweight loads is a requirement for truckers. They should know this. They should have the knowledge of this. I won't waste too much time on this point, as a detailed report will be on the next slide about state-specific requirements. Okay, third point. In many states, urban areas present unique challenges to the infrastructure constraints and high traffic volume. One of the key words here, high traffic volumes. So we're talking about narrow lanes and tight streets, or even driving through the rush hour. And everyone knows how Mississippi rush hour and New York rush hour is like. It's insane. Bridges and tunnels are also critical considerations, as oversized loads may pose risks to building integrity. So we were talking about, not making the right cuts and turns and crashing into the building and damaging the building. Those kind of integrity I'm talking about. The truckers are required actually to follow a designated route to avoid certain structures altogether. So during peak hours or in particularly congested areas, travel may be limited or even prohibited to reduce the risk of accidents and minimizing traffic disruptions. This job is allocated to the dispatcher, your dispatcher, to inform you ahead of time. If he is not informing you about this information, then please go ahead and fire him, because this is his responsibility. Why? Dispatchers don't just book loads for you, they also track and trace your location, and they have many other responsibilities. And also guiding you to taking the right route, it's another one of his responsibility. I'll explain more about the role of a dispatcher in another video in the future. But for now, let's stick with these points. Right. The application process is pretty straightforward. It requires complete documentation, including vehicle specifications, detailed description of the cargo or the load, and proof of insurance coverage. In some cases, additional documents like a route survey or a safety plan may be necessary to ensure the safe transport of the load. Furthermore, truckers must be prepared to pay permit fees, which can vary significantly depending on the state and the type of permit required. Typically, single-trip permits are less expensive than annual permits, making it easy to access the faculty whenever you feel like. I hope I have explained these 4 points well, so let's go on to the 9th slide. Okay, so I guess you guys are getting bored with me talking so much. So here is a slide that requires you to use your eyes, okay? So I'm not going to waste too much time here, nor is there much to say here. Just pause the video and read this slide thoroughly, okay? Preferably, if you want to just scan the whole slide, that's up to you, but I prefer you read this whole slide from line to line, okay? Pause the video and do that right now. Once you have done that, we will be moving on to the 10th slide. So these last 2 slides about pros and cons or advantages and disadvantages are going to be very lengthy slides, okay? So prepare to hear my voice for the next 15 minutes or up to 15 minutes, I presume. So let's talk about the pros. So versatility and flexibility, different variety of cargo, load types can mean more options for load bookings. Retractable topping system of Conestoga trailers provides convenient access from the sides, top and rear, enabling efficient handling of cargo and significantly reducing the time required for loading and unloading. This is especially beneficial for handling large, irregularly shaped or even sensitive and fragile items, as it allows for careful placement and securement without the risk of weather damage, which is the whole point of a topping system. The versatility of Conestoga trailers not only increases operational efficiency, but also opens up diverse job opportunities by accommodating a broad spectrum of freight, from heavy machinery to delicate goods. Next point. Truckers using Conestoga trailers should leverage the benefits of the quick top system, which will fast-track their trucking operations. The retractable topping system reduces load times by obviously allowing rapid covering and uncovering of cargo, thereby increasing overall productivity and minimizing downtime compared to the traditional flatbed trailers. Just remember that. Efficiency not only speeds up the loading and unloading process, but also enables truckers to handle more loads in a shorter time frame. So please keep that in mind. Another thing to keep in mind is the topping system. So the topping system is something that dates back, when we had like wagons and caravans that attached to horses. That's where actually the word Conestoga comes from. So if you want me to, talk about the history about that, maybe in a different video, but not right now. So the Conestoga's topping system provides superior protection against weather elements such as rain, snow, and even the sun, safeguarding the cargo from potential damage. This protects you from financial losses associated with damaged goods, ensuring that shipments arrive in optimal condition. Okay, third point. Effective covering and securing of cargo aids in compliance with regulations. DOT inspectors might check if your cargo is not damaged or not. Very rare, but they do sometimes do that. Obviously, there's the likelihood of fines or violations if there is improper load handling or damaged goods. So on to the fourth point. Okay, so this is a quite interesting point. It is my belief that Conestogas are probably more in demand because of their safety and securement mechanisms. But on the other hand, currently I think that reefers are in a greater demand. So far, but that could change. But I think reefers right now are in a greater demand. And the strange thing is that reefers are also the specific trailers that are being let off. Like a lot of people are transitioning from reefers to hotshots, which is quite strange. But it is what it is. But let's see what happens in it. So by mastering the operation of Conestoga trailers, you can develop your skills to be an active Conestoga trainer or a Conestoga locator. I don't see any other specific developments, a skill development in this line of work. But yeah, it is what it is. The work environment. So I have explained about work environment in the previous 2 videos as well. And please forgive me, I will be updating in the next videos or every other video that I will be talking about different trailers. I will be making specific pros and cons because this is very general. But just bear with me. So Conestoga trailers allows drivers to take on a variety of routes, including regional, national, and specialized routes. So this flexibility can make the job more interesting and provide opportunities for exploring the states, for exploring different areas. Economic benefits. The specialized nature of these trailers often results in higher pay. A lot of people want their goods to be secure from weather conditions, and they want their loads to be absolutely confined in a place where nothing can damage it. Hence, this is the reason why there is a greater earning potential for Conestogas. So Conestogas, they lower damage costs. I don't have to talk more about that. So they lower damage costs. Not only damage costs, they also have various mechanisms which keeps the cargo tightly in place, which is another benefit. But overall, it's a good way to increase productivity and ramp up your earning potential. So I've explained about that point. So technological advance. Okay, so this is a strange point to be talking about, but I'll try to simplify this. So all newer models of power-only trucks are equipped with state-of-the-art technology to streamline trucking operations, right? Keyword here, streamline. I know for some this can be a disadvantage, but for most this is undoubtedly a benefit. And Conestogas don't have any specific technology integrated inside of them, except for the top system. Maybe if it's a rare reefer type with an APU unit inside of it, yeah, then you might have to get to know how to operate it. But other than that, you should have no problem. And all the old timers, they should adjust because it will make their life much, much easier. Okay, so I hope I've explained this slide well. Let's move on to the last slide, the 11th slide. Conestoga cons or disadvantages. Complexity and skill requirement. The reason why Conestogas are considered a specialized equipment is because of the topping system and the various types of cargo that are placed on it. There's also the fact that you need to know about top types and various knots and binding techniques to hold down the cargo firmly and in place. And then there's obviously maintenance requirements and usage complexity. So in the previous slides, we talked about maintenance of tops and chains using special sprays and lubricants. These aerosol liquids give tops and chains their malleability and strength. truckers must have these basic knowledge of maintaining Conestogas. And third point is something that's related to every truck driver to speak of. One of the biggest problems with Conestogas, are the diverse cargo types. For example, it's not too far-fetched to see a helicopter being fixated on a Conestoga. You can even sometimes find army vehicles on it, which are considered as high-value cargo. Handling diverse cargo types, including bulky or irregularly shaped items, presents further challenges, requiring extra effort in loading, securing, and unloading. So it's very time-consuming. So by understanding and preparing for these challenges, a trucker can better manage their workload and maintain efficiency, ultimately benefiting their financial stability in the long run. Now, this takes time and experience. I don't expect people coming to the Conestoga trailer field and then expecting them, to do multiple loads throughout the week. It's a tough job. So fourth point is quite a confusing point, because on the pros it said something. It says that this is an advantage, but on the cons, it says that the financial drawbacks or the disadvantages are quite eminent here. So let me enlighten on this point a bit. When I'm talking about financial drawbacks, I'm talking about prior investments. So the question that appears in everyone's mind is that, do I rent or buy out a Conestoga trailer? Do I work for a company or work as a owner-operator? Many questions to be answered. I think the real question is, what are the short-term and long-term benefits for you? If you don't have the budget, then work for a company and slowly transition. That's what everyone else does. If you do have the budget, then buy it outright and steadily progress or diversify your trucking portfolio. Personally, I am against leasing out trailers, as majority of the leasing companies have hidden agendas and details and binding agreements, which I'm not a big fan of. I hope that helped. So let's move on to the next point. State-specific regulations and inspections and audits are one of the few reasons why so many people are starting to quit trucking. Especially this year. This year, it's a record-breaking statistics of people quitting trucking. So DOT officers are starting to fine for every minor vehicle fault upon inspection. God knows why they're doing this now, which is making life harder and harder for the drivers. Permit rules and regulations have become much more stricter and can change without any notice, which is absurd to me. Physical demands. There is no point in repeating something over and over again, but working on any type of semi-truck requires very little physical effort if you mention that this is a no-hand load. If in the load information that the dispatcher does not mention that it's a no-hand pickup, then you might have to get your hand dirty. So I think the mental aspect is actually more taxing. So this is something to think about. And the last point, once again, this has been mentioned in the pros. I'm going to be mentioning the negative aspect of this now. So system failures and learning curves. If you don't know, there was a massive system failure all around the world because of an antivirus virus, which happened in airports, which happened all over in the Western world, and it drove everyone crazy. A lot of Windows operating systems just went completely shut down. So that's an example that I'm giving. So drivers who have been trucking for 20 years plus have been using old-fashioned and traditional methods of transporting goods from point A to point B. These methods will eventually be replaced with newer technologies in the market. This is inevitable and cannot be stopped. So to cover this learning curve, drivers must adapt or educate themselves on using technologies such as track and trace technologies, ELDs, electronic hours of service, limits and capacity, e-logging, service and inspection history done on your devices, etc. And obviously Elon Musk is making movements of having AI-operated semi-trucks to roll out on the roads. I'm not sure when he's going to do that, but that will damage the livelihood of many truckers. So let's see what happens there. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. This was one of my longer videos. I hope you weren't too bored. There are timestamps to skip to the specific point where you find that it's more beneficial to you. And I hope to see you in the fourth upcoming video.